Hello. I'm sorry that it's so bright, and also I dyed my hair today, so all you can see is like bright red. I'm heading off to a photo shoot in a little bit, so that's why you've got the kind of bright hair colour, and we're all bright and sparkly today, which is quite exciting. So we're also on day 3, which I am really excited about, and one of the reasons that I'm so excited about day 3 is because today we're finally talking about marketing and visibility, and I know that it's something that comes up a lot for an awful lot of you, and I know that it's something that you've all been putting together these amazing posts, and you've been really working hard on creating videos, on creating posts that really reflect who you are, what you do, and who you're talking to. But now we really have to find out and talk about where you actually need to be putting those posts to start seeing some awesome results, and how you can do it in a way that's authentic. Just moving my t-shirt out of the way, I've got 2 t-shirts on. So let's kind of have a little recap over where we've been with the Discovery Call Challenge so far, and what we're going to be covering off today. So, over the last couple of days, you've been thinking about how to monetize your message. You've been thinking about how you are going to connect with your ideal client and really think about what it is that they want you to do on a daily basis, and that they want to see from you, and that they want to identify with that key message that you're putting out there. You also have been thinking about how you can actually offer them free assessment calls to deliver maximum value in a really time efficient period, and then think about converting those calls into actual discovery calls in a really easy, non-sleazy, no pitch way. Okay, and then today we're talking all about visibility, and we're going to be talking all about my own visibility strategy and the way that I post to get consistent discovery calls booked. You guys are just getting my face in like masses of sunlight, so I'm just going to switch over a little bit there. Okay, good. So in terms of getting visible, it's something that we see quite a lot as post 3 to 5 times a day in Facebook groups, and you will get clients. Now, as we've talked about over the last couple of days, you need to have a really cohesive message, and so posting 3 to 5 times a day in Facebook groups doesn't necessarily help you, particularly if you're not delivering a consistent message all the time. Now, personally, I prefer a slightly different method. It's much more relationship building in my view. It's much more about delivering value, and actually it's much easier. So today I'm going to be sharing how I actually manage my discovery calls and the promotion of them. Awesome, woohoo! If you're on with me today, if you're on live, pop a little hello in the comments, or let me know if you've got any questions as we go on. So firstly, for those of you who have email lists, these are really valuable, and I know that everybody tells you that your email list is valuable and that the value really is in your list, but actually they really are. And online we see an awful lot of people who don't make the relationship, they don't make the connection with their list. Somebody signs up and then they might never be heard of again, or you encourage somebody to sign up for your list, you send them your opt-in, and then there's no other relationship building activity. It's just every time you launch, you send them an email, or every time you're running a free challenge or an opt-in, you'll send them another email. But there's no actual relationship building, there's no getting to know people. And so what I like to do with my list is I like to, what I call, give them some love. Okay, so what you should be thinking about when you're marketing discovery sessions, and particularly when you're talking about assessments, you want to be emailing your list at least a couple of times a week. One of those emails should be what we call a solo mailer. And what that means is that you promote one thing in that particular email. So that could be your Facebook group, that could be your latest offering, your latest paid program. And in this case, it's going to be discovery calls, okay, or free assessments. That's what you want to be sending out to your list, okay, in that solo mailer. The second email that you want to be sending out that week is about adding value. That's your newsletter. That's somewhere where you give people some kind of really valuable, authentic content, and that could come from your blog, that could be a video, that could be sharing a testimonial that you've got recently from an amazing client. But it's designed to give value rather than promote something that you want them to do. Okay, so think about the ways that you can really develop some informative content, and you can send it out in your newsletter, and then in your solo mailer, that's when you encourage them to take action on just one thing. Now, some of you may not have a list yet, and that's fine. That's totally fine. You've got enough to worry about with your opt-ins and your lead magnets and trying to get people onto your list without me kind of bamboozling you with any more, particularly when we're doing a challenge on discovery calls. So if you don't have a list, or if you have a list and it's small, or if you have a list and it's not that engaged, then let's think for a sec about how you can actually plan out your discovery call offerings, and how you can actually plan out a marketing strategy and a visibility strategy that supports those discovery call offerings. Okay, cool. So what I tend to do is actually spend 45 minutes to an hour a day on Facebook. And I did put up a brief post about this, or covered this slightly earlier, in that I use something called the SUS method. What that means is that I like to be on Facebook enough that my ideal clients can see me, and that I deliver awesome value, but I don't want to be there all day because I've got so much else to do with clients and with creating cool content and with, you know, just generally life. So what I do is 15 minutes in the morning, or 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, I'll show up, I'll support. Hey Suzanne! You're live! That's so exciting! I'm super excited that you're here and you're live. Woo! That's really made my day. So I tend to show up for 10 to 15 minutes first thing in the morning, and that's when I'll support other people. I'll support their threads. So you'll see me typically in this group, and I will be looking over the threads from the night before. I'll be supporting people's threads themselves by commenting, or I'll be answering questions. I'll be delivering value. I'm glad it made you laugh, Suzanne. Yay! Hi Lorraine! Woohoo! I'm gonna have to do this now for everybody, aren't I? So if you're live, put a little thing in the comments, and I'll be like, woo! But yeah, so you show up and you support, and the idea is that that support is all designed to actually bring value to others. So it's to boost their threads, it's to provide an answer to their questions, it's to help them out in some way, shape or form. And then at lunchtime, kind of when I'm chilling out with my ham sandwich or whatever I've got, something healthy now that I've been reading Lorraine's book, but at lunchtime you show up, and that's when you share. But I'm not saying share your own stuff, I'm saying share something of value. So that might be your blog, but it also might be a video that you found on YouTube. It might be somebody else's blog. It might be an article that you've read. It might be a techie tip. It might be, you know, a new platform for webinars that you've discovered and you think everybody should know about. But it's got to be something that's related to your expertise. So it's got to be something that's coming and is going to be of interest to your ideal clients because it's relatable. And it's got to be something that's just going to genuinely pour some value for 5 to 10 minutes in their day. Okay, so something they can watch, read, do, that's just going to boost their day a bit. Okay? And then in the evening, after you've done all this showing up and supporting and showing up and selling, again, 10 to 15 minutes a time, you show up and sell. And that is when you've spent all day re-engaging with people. You've been there, they've seen you add value, they've seen you be authentic, they've seen you act with integrity, and that is when you offer them something to purchase or something to do. So in this case, when we're talking about the Discovery Call Challenge, that's when you're saying to people, hey, come and book in on my discovery calls, come and talk to me, come and book one of these amazing assessments or strategy sessions so that we can look at how you really can improve, hit your goals, move forward towards what it is that you actually desire. Okay, so that's the method I use. Now, it seems really simple, and it is. It really, really is. I don't want to be giving you lots of work to do each day. I want to be giving you things that are actionable, that are practical, that you can actually go out and do and see results from. But I also know that everybody struggles for what to put on Facebook. Okay, so here are a couple of things that you could experiment with regards to going out and kind of sharing or posting on Facebook. I'm just going to look this way because I've written down all my notes. I really like the structure of this. I have those ideas, but not as organised. It left my mind a little frazzled. Awesome. Exactly right, Nicola. So everybody has the same ideas. It's just how we structure them that can make it more efficient. And what I'm actually going to do, I did send out an email earlier. So if you've been reading the emails, good for you, because you're going to get a really cool surprise tomorrow, which is a free gift, which will help you do this. And will really kind of maximize your output. So you can actually have a copy of my schedule, my social media schedule for yourself, that you can go ahead and play around with and change up, so that you can actually start actioning some of this, and then it makes it a little bit easier for you. So that's the surprise free gift. So if anybody's watching this tomorrow and you haven't got your email yet, and you don't realize there's a cool free gift, I'm really sorry, I've just let it slip. I should have captioned it with spoiler alert, okay? But in case you're thinking, oh, I don't really know what I can post out there, I would think about things like questions. You know, what are their, you know, if you're in something like mindset, what are their daily practices? You know, what do they do on a kind of daily basis? And ask questions like that. That's great for market research. You could also post videos that are relatable. So if you're in a specific area like EFT, tapping, for example, you could post out a really cool video by someone like Brad Yates, who's got an amazing client magnet tapping video. You could just put that up in your group and say, hey, you know, all of these great female entrepreneurs that I'm looking to work with, guess what? Brad Yates got this amazing client magnet tapping video. You guys should be watching it. I think it'd be really beneficial. You can also start thinking about things like inspiring stories, sharing your client stories, sharing your client testimonials, and building people up to see the value that you really do add. Now, I don't mean this in a way that says, hey, so-and-so says that I'm the best person on the planet ever, because as lovely as that is, it's not actionable. It doesn't show people what they would achieve with you. So when we look at earlier in the challenge, we were talking about the viral Facebook post recipe. Remember that people like personal posts. They like things with metrics, they like things with an eye-catching graphic, they like things that are personal to you. So if I was going to share a client testimonial, for example, I would share the client testimonial and I would say something like, this person started working with me in XYZ, and by the end of the next month, they got 4 new clients, or they designed a business that they loved, or they developed a whole launch strategy and launched their latest product, program, or service. They completely dominated Facebook ads and they created this amazing campaign. They understood sales funnels, you know, lots of different things. Really give people an idea of what it is like to work with you, what it is like, what they can achieve, what they can benefit from. Because then when you show up in the evening and you start saying, I'm going to be offering these 20-minute assessments, people are like, well, hang on a minute, that person got results really quickly. So of course this 20-minute assessment is suddenly very, very valuable. Okay, now if you haven't had clients, don't worry, there are lots of things that you can be posting about in your show up and support and show up and share sessions, things like tips of the day in your area of expertise. So if you are a health coach, for example, you might talk about something that all entrepreneurs can do and just get up from their desk and do every 2 hours, like jumping jacks or something, to improve brain power and to keep them getting fit, you know, and stop them kind of sitting at their desk and not doing anything all day. You can also spend some extra time if you are newer to the coaching world, if you haven't had clients yet. You spend some extra time engaging, asking more questions, you know, finding out more about your market so that you really understand what you can be helping with. Asking them questions, you know, really sharing your knowledge and saying, hey, you know what, I learned about myself today through doing XYZ. So some of the things that I sometimes share are around mindset practices, because mindset practices is something very new to me that I didn't know anything about when I was in corporate, but actually are really, really helpful to having a successful sales process. You know, having a successful sales mindset is really important. So sometimes when I'm looking for something to share, I'll share my own personal story about how long it kind of took me to rejig my mindset, how long it took me to reframe my mindset. Does that make sense? I'm hoping it does. I'm kind of whizzing through it. So if you have questions, just pop them in the comments and I will answer. Lorraine's jumping jacks and flares with sunglasses and the Staying Alive music on Riyadh. Yeah, I'm going to do the Saturday Night Fever thing. It's going to be cool. This means that my dancing at the end of the week in flares is obviously going to be an actual thing, isn't it? But yeah, so when you're thinking about your visibility, you know, just think about why you want to get visible, and what the kind of ultimate goal is. So make sure that you are consistent. Make sure that you use this method, that you make it as simple as possible, and you are keeping it in touch with all of the things that we've already discussed around monetizing your message, around understanding who your client is and what you want them to buy from you that will benefit them. And then use this method to show up consistently, to deliver maximum value, and in the evenings, show up and sell. Now, I'm not saying that you have to show up and sell in the evenings, because obviously I'm in the UK, so I'm 5 hours generally ahead of most of you. That means that my evening is like your afternoon. So you might want to play around with this method and think, okay, actually I want to sell in the morning, or I want to sell in the afternoon, or I want to support in the evenings when I can see a lot of people going into Facebook groups and commenting and posting, because there are a lot of people in Facebook groups who are actually posting things but not seeing anything back. They're not getting their questions answered because they're posting at different times of the day. So you can also make sure, if you're going in and you're supporting and you can't really find anybody to support, why not search for questions in your area? Search for keyword terms in the top right hand corner of the Facebook group, something like sales or mindset or money blocks or whatever it might be, and see if there are any people with questions that aren't answered, because simply by answering them and going and bumping up their thread actually gives them the opportunity to have more people look over their post, and then it gives them more opportunity to get more answers. So you are this really cool person who's like an enabler and a deliverer of value. Okay, so that's what I want you to focus on. Your challenge today is to actually think about what your social media schedule looks like right now. Think about the value that you're currently adding to people when you're posting. Think about whether you're being consistent, and think about how you can make it more manageable for yourself. Okay, so when we're talking about posting in 3 to 5 groups a day, okay, yes, I don't really think you should have to post 3 to 5 times a day in Facebook groups forever. I don't think it's a sustainable strategy, but I do agree that you should find a few groups that you really identify with and make them the places that you focus your attentions on, because you know where your ideal clients are hanging out. Okay, so if you've got a few groups that are awesome, that are really supportive, that you know that actually your ideal clients are there, but it's not a promotional group, don't worry, don't discount that group. Just do it differently. Show up, share, show up, support, show up, add value. And we're going to be talking about this tomorrow, but then you can always outreach. Then you can always reach out to those people personally, say, hey, I'd love to develop a relationship with you because I see you on lots of the posts that I do, and I think we've got a lot in common. Okay, does this all make sense? I'm hoping it does. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments while I just have a quick drink of water. If anybody's got any questions, pop them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer questions and happy to kind of go through things if people aren't understanding it, or if you want me to tailor the social media strategy to your business. But just have a think today. That really is the challenge. Are you delivering maximum value? Are you spending too much time hanging out in Facebook groups? Are you not seeing enough engagement on your posts? Well, let's look at this method. Let's look at how we can improve your engagement. Let's look at how you can deliver massive value. Let's look at how you can put those posts out there that genuinely do position your discovery calls as the best thing ever, and get people to sign up. Rachel, hey Rachel, I haven't seen you for a while since your amazing video, and the fact that you did this really cool, for anybody that doesn't know, I'm just going to wax lyrical here. Rachel did this really cool TV episode the other day for her business, so if anybody hasn't seen it, it is in the group, in the discussion somewhere, so just search for Rachel's name and you can watch it, and it's really, really cool. Painfully cool, and I'm a Brit, so I'm never cool, and I'm very jealous of it. So Rachel, I'm struggling to find groups that really resonate with me. Ooh, interesting one. I think that's a really interesting one, and it's one to consider from 2 perspectives. So you're so welcome. So firstly, which kind of groups are you hanging out in? Are they groups with your ideal clients based on the kind of title of the group? So for example, if you are somebody that is going and looking for clients that are entrepreneurs, and you hang out in the entrepreneur incubator because it's got entrepreneur in the title, great, it's a great group, it's very large, but you might not, because it's so large, you might not always be kind of seeing the right people. They might not be able to engage with you. That's why things like the show up and share method and showing up 3 times a day are great, because it gives you a couple of days where you can really judge whether your posts are genuinely being seen by lots of people, or whether actually it's just that it's not hitting the spot, it's not got your ideal clients in there and they're not resonating with you. The other thing is, think about why those groups aren't resonating with you. What is it about those groups that you're not keen on? Is it the fact that there is a lack of support? Is it the fact that people in the group tend to make a lot of excuses? Is it because, you know, you struggle to kind of find people that have the same sense of humour as you or do the same kind of things as you? Or is it that you think it's not full of your ideal clients? Because actually what tends to happen is a lot of the groups that people go to tend to be the bigger ones, and they tend to be the ones that are very well known, very well established, and that is great because they are great places to meet people, great places to build relationships and network. But actually it can be really difficult to stand out from the crowd. So think about how we were talking about monetizing and magnetizing your message earlier in the week, and how you can really polarize people almost and attract the right people to you, so that actually it's not the group that you need to worry about resonating. It's that you need to be posting things that are so your personality and so much about the value that you're delivering and the awesome things that you are creating for these people that you want to work with, and it's drawing those people out of the woodwork. Yeah, because those people might be introverted. I don't go into lots of groups and start kind of posting all the time. I sit back and I kind of gauge the atmosphere a little bit, and I watch people posting. When I see something interesting, I'll jump on it and be like, oh my goodness, that's really cool, and introduce myself to that person. But up until that point, I will lurk, you know, and people are in so many groups. So I would say, don't worry about the group not resonating with you. Make sure that when you're posting things that are true to you, that are true to your personality, and that might polarize the people who you don't want to work with and who wouldn't fit into one of your programs and who actually you wouldn't be best off serving. Okay? And then the other people will come out of the woodwork. And if they don't, you've only spent 45 minutes that day kind of copying and pasting a post that you've pre-written into that group. There's no harm done. You know, if you are struggling for groups, and this is the same for anybody, if you really are struggling for groups, please comment in the thread or private message me if you don't want to kind of put it out there, what you're looking for. You know, what kind of clients you're looking for, what kind of people you're looking to network with, what kind of relationships you're looking to build in these groups, and I can always recommend some. Okay, I'm in quite a few, as you can probably imagine, and so actually there are usually a few that I can recommend, or there are at least usually a few people that I can recommend that you connect with who might be in groups that are doing similar things to what you need. Okay, so if you do need any group recommendations, if you're looking for specific things, if you're looking to find an ideal client, just pop me a message, pop me a private message, pop me an email, say, hey Jess, this is what my ideal client looks like, do you know where they hang out? And the likelihood is I've worked with so many people over the last 2 years that I'll have at least 1 or 2 that I can hook you up with. Okay, I hope that helps. Does anybody else have any questions? Anybody else? Anybody else? If not, I'm going to go and put on my leather trousers and go for a photo shoot. Woohoo! Exciting times. I'll come back later and be moaning about the fact that nothing fits me because I've lost so much weight after eating healthily. Amazing. Okay, I don't think... Oh, amazing. I just culled my groups to 5. And we're still in it. Woohoo! I'm super excited that you've stuck with my group. Yay! That makes me so happy. How do I deal with groups that don't let you post links? Oh, interesting one. Yeah, this is one that comes up quite a lot. So if you are in a group and it's a great group and it's full of your ideal clients and they don't let you promote, see if they have like a promotions thread once a week, even though I don't usually recommend promotion threads, but you do it that way. Or think about the ways you can actually engage with those people offline. Okay, I'm in a lot of groups that actually don't allow promotions, and I quite like it because it gives me the the kind of ability to build long-term relationships with people and go back to that kind of offline networking. And it's something that I'll be covering a little bit more tomorrow, but briefly, what I would do is I would be engaging in that group, I would be showing up and supporting, and I'd be showing up and sharing. And when people were getting into conversations with me and actually kind of commenting back on my threads and writing things, I would build up a little conversation with them, and then I'd be like, hey, you know what, I really like getting to know you, I'm really enjoying kind of meeting you and finding out what you're about. Would you like to grab a Skype chat sometime? There's no pressure. You're not promoting anything. You're simply saying, hey, you know what, would you like to do this? There are also ways, and you will find that as you show up and as you support and as you actually share things that are relevant, even if they're not necessarily your work, so you're sharing YouTube videos or informational articles or something, that the more you share and the more you give, actually the more people will come to you. So they will start approaching you and saying, hey, aren't you the lady that does the yoga thing? Or, hey, aren't you the lady that does the health coaching thing? And that's when you can say, yeah, that's me. How can I help? You know, do you want to grab a Skype chat? Do you want to have a cup of tea? Do you want to, do you want to go and poke around my Facebook page and see what kind of free stuff I've got? So those groups are really great groups for actually building relationships. Yes, you can't promote. And then, yes, I think that's ridiculous, because I'm a firm believer that if you're putting in the time and the effort to show up and support people and show up and share, then yes, you absolutely should be able to show up and promote your stuff. But I get it. I get that not every group wants to have that promo feel, and so actually taking the time to build individual relationships are a really, really good way of getting to know people, and they're a really, really good way of actually networking and creating that kind of offline networking feel in a really online world. Is that the fashion police you can hear in the background? Yes, that's Southampton. We're so glamorous that the fashion police come for me all the time. They'll be at my photo shoot later. They'll just be there constantly waiting to arrest me in my leather flares. Amazing. Are there any other questions? Anything else that I can help with tonight? Anybody kind of like, I don't really know what I'm posting, or not really sure about scheduling, or any questions? Because I'm absolutely happy to answer anything. And you will all be getting a really cool social media scheduler tomorrow in your email. And that will kind of give you an idea of the sorts of things that I do on a daily basis. So things like introduce myself into groups, things like ask Q&A questions, things like share inspiring stories, share testimonials, share videos, share how-to series and things like that. So I'll have all those kinds of things in that you can kind of play around with and see what works for you, that leads best into talking about your assessments, your free assessments, or your discovery course. Any questions? It's like that auction thing, isn't it? Like, any more for any more? Okay, awesome. Doesn't look like there are any more questions. If you do have them, I will be back later on. I'm going to go and have my photo taken with some man who apparently is very, very good with a camera and with making you look very good. I'm going to go and try and do that, and then I'll be back later. I'll be sharing the photos, and I will be answering any questions that you guys leave in the thread. So if you do need anything, if you are stuck with what groups resonate with you, like I say, pop me an email, pop me a private message, pop it in the thread, who are your ideal clients, and let me see if I can help you find a few different groups that you might want to explore. Yay! Okay guys, wish me luck. I'm off to go and make myself look human, and I will speak to you really, really soon. Oh, thank you, Rachel. I'll speak to you guys soon. Have such lovely, lovely afternoons and evenings, and I'll be back later with some cool photos. Bye for now.